AITH for making my husband cancel his family's last-minute sleepover after he trapped me into saying yes. I, 31F, am a law student in the middle of grueling exam prep, and we have 2 kids. My husband's family is visiting from Dubai. They have a huge house in the countryside, and we've driven down to see them for the past 3 weekends. We casually mentioned they're welcome to visit us in the city sometime. Tonight at 10 p.m., they suddenly announced they are driving up tomorrow and expect to sleep over. Our house is a complete disaster. My kid has a morning dentist appointment, and I desperately need to study. I suggested they come Sunday for lunch instead, so we had time to clean. Sleepover is a no. My husband refused to set a firm boundary. Instead of telling them no, he just gave weak hints like, "You can sleep here, but it's messy." He got on a call with his sister, put her on loudspeaker, and when she explicitly asked, "Can we crash?" he handed the phone to me. Knowing I couldn't be the bad guy and reject them to their faces, I panicked and said yes. As soon as the call ended, I lost it. I told him it was incredibly cowardly to use me as a human shield. I demanded he call them back, cancel the sleepover, and take charge of the mess he made. I feel terrible because they fly back to Dubai soon, and this is our last chance to see them, but I am overwhelmed, exhausted, and furious that my husband backed me into a corner. AITHH. TIFU, by not knowing why we really should wear sunglasses. I grew up in a simple household of 6 people, meaning there was never enough money for accessories. There was always food on the table, and we had clothes that covered us. But we did not have an excess of money, which meant there were parts of social life I never learned growing up. We never had accessories. Now jewelry, not handbags, and no sunglasses. The adults in the family never wore them, so neither did the children. We were taught, as a way of curbing expenses, that it was just a way of some people showing off their wealth. I accepted this way as the only way. This brings me to my adulthood. I have always worked outside in all weathers in England. Lots of wind, lots of rain, and believe it or not, lots of sunshine. The work is very physical, and I move around a lot in my day, lifting him to carrying and bending and running. I often wear sun cream and a hat, but never sunglasses. Over 10 years of this, one day I woke up and I had a bright red inner white of my eye. Lots of red veiny bits and a yellowed area. There was some pain in the back of my eyeball like strain. I hadn't been to an eye doctor since I was a child, so I thought that this was a sign to get to one sooner rather than later. I visited an optometrist. He did all the examinations that took 40 minutes. It was concluded I now have irreparable UV damage to both of my eyes. It will look better with some hot compresses and eye drops, but it will always remain to some extent. Safe to say, I ordered UV 400 polarized sunglasses the same day and will be wearing them henceforth. TLDR. Sunglasses are like sun cream. You have to protect your eyes as well as your skin. WIBTA, if I put a no-fly order on my ex for child support debt. My ex Sam and I split 7 years ago. There was some abuse, mainly financial and coercive control. I was the only working parent when we had children, and also the primary carer. Sam was responsible for dropping the children to daycare and school. I carried the mental load with all grocery deliveries, meal planning, paying bills, etc., and had a weekly house cleaner because I didn't have time to do that on top of working and spending time with the kids. When we divorced, Sam had to get a job and was earning around the same as me. In the last 7 years, Sam has averaged 8% time with the children, at one stage seeing them 13 times in 2 years by choice. In that time, I maintained the children's relationship with the extended family and traveled with them to Sam's home country to see grandparents and enjoy their culture. I have seen the extended family more often and more recently than Sam, both with the children and without, as I also lived in his country with him for a few years and have my own friends and reasons to visit, so take the kids to see their family for a month most years. I now have the children 100%. Sam has quit work, isn't paying any child support, and is suing for 50-50 custody. Currently, the child support debt is from 6 months of non-payment at the new rate. I technically don't need the child support, but we are living frugally, and school fees will have to come from my mortgage redraw without it. I could apply for a no-travel order, which would mean that Sam has to repay the debt, or Sam's wealthy parents would, as they are currently supporting Sam before leaving the country. However, as Sam's family are overseas, and Sam's grandparents are around 100 yo, that would mean missing their funeral and the associated necessary cultural elements. I would take the children over and have funds aside for last-minute flights, etc. WIBTA if I applied for the travel ban, knowing that Sam might miss a funeral.